The story follows Odessa Matthews, a diligent young woman trapped in a manipulative family dynamic where her parents favor her sister Bella. After years of financial and emotional exploitation, Odessa is abandoned in the Arizona desert by Bella in a life-threatening scenario. This event becomes a catalyst for Odessa to reclaim her autonomy. With the help of allies like Officer Wilson, Judge Martin, and a supportive friend Jackie, Odessa confronts her family, establishes boundaries, and builds an independent life, finding both legal and emotional closure. The story blends survival tension with family drama, ultimately delivering empowerment and emotional catharsis. The sun scorches the horizon like molten gold, turning the desert road into a ribbon of heat that shimmers and sways. Odessa Matthews squints against the glare, every step on the gravel crunching beneath her boots, each movement an exhausting test of will. Her throat burns, dry as the sand underfoot. She lifts her phone with trembling hands. One bar flickers and dies like a cruel joke. "Please, please," she whispers to the empty air. Her voice cracks, swallowed by the vast Arizona emptiness. A breeze stirs dust across the desert, a mocking reminder of how alone she truly is. 45 minutes ago, she had been inside her Chevy, arguing over a tire that didn't need checking, the hum of the air conditioner failing to shield her from Tucson's heat. Bella's casual voice, asking her to check the tire, still echoes in her mind. Odessa remembers bending to inspect the wheel. Everything was fine. Then the engine revved. Dust clouded her vision. The car blurred past her, Bella's face a distorted smear of entitlement. She had just been left. Years of quiet sacrifice flash before Odessa's eyes. Shifts at Rosie's diner, tips saved to pay for tuition, each dollar spent carefully while Bella's expenses were covered by their parents without a second thought. The car she bought with her own hard work, her freedom, her independence, it was gone in a moment. The memory stings more than the sun. Childhood sacrifices, hand-me-downs, canceled dreams, constant deferral of desires, all now crystallize in the blistering heat around her. She stumbles over a rock, catching herself. Pain blossoms on her palms, blood mixing with the dust. Her legs threaten to collapse beneath her. Family comes first, her father's voice echoes, a mantra that has bound her for decades. But the desert teaches her a new lesson: survival first. She presses forward, each shaky step a rebellion against every unfair expectation she has carried. Her wallet holds the registration papers, the fragile symbol of her agency. Hours stretch like eternity. The mirage of civilization teases her an illusion of hope. Then, finally, the flicker of a signal. Fingers numb, she dials 911. 10 minutes later, a police vehicle appears, engine humming, air conditioning a relief to her scorched skin. Officer Wilson's hand on her shoulder is steady, grounding her in a reality where someone sees her, where her suffering is acknowledged. Abandoning someone in the desert is a serious offense, he says, firm but not cruel. Odessa's voice is hoarse, but she replies simply, "She just left me there." The weight of betrayal crashes over her, mingling with relief. She is finally acknowledged. The desert's heat has burned away the last threads of fear, leaving only clarity, her life, her choice, her freedom. Back in town, the air-conditioned cruiser hums softly as Officer Wilson drives Odessa towards safety. Her arms ache from exhaustion, and her mind reels through the layers of betrayal, deception, and systemic favoritism that have defined her family. Bella's reckless behavior wasn't a single incident, it was a pattern, sanctioned by parents who normalized exploitation. The police database confirms it, multiple prior fines, all paid by Odessa's parents. The realization strikes her like another punch to the chest. This wasn't just carelessness. It was premeditation, a deliberate attempt to control and manipulate her through fear. Financial abuse, emotional coercion, the endless tug-of-war over autonomy, it all converges in that single, scorching moment in the desert. Her phone vibrates, missed calls, worried messages, but Odessa ignores them. For the first time, she chooses herself over obligation. Jackie's waiting outside, a small sanctuary in a world that has spent years telling her she's not enough. At the diner, whispers follow her. Regular customers exchange sideways glances, some sympathetic, others judgmental. Odessa's shift begins, pouring coffee, balancing trays, all while feeling the weight of public attention. The familiar hum of the diner becomes her new battlefield, each gesture measured, precise, reclaiming control over space she has been taught to cede. She recalls Judge Martin's advice: document everything, enforce boundaries, stay factual. The folder with receipts, bank statements, and records of every sacrifice she made sits heavy in her bag, a quiet declaration of power. Every tip saved, every shift endured, every missed opportunity, proof of her resilience and her right to autonomy. Her family, of course, is performing. Bella's tearful displays, her mother's rehearsed concern, her father's patriarchal posturing, they think emotional manipulation can undo years of oppression. Odessa studies them calmly, letting the folder's weight in her hands lend courage to her spine. For the first time, she is neither fearful nor apologetic. She is ready to act. The diner becomes a stage for confrontation. Odessa moves with careful precision, reading their performances, anticipating their manipulations. She listens to apologies, rehearsed regret, and pleas for forgiveness. But here's the subtext: control, expectation, obligation. She decides in that moment that she will not participate in their scripts. Every action, every word, is measured. Odessa is no longer just the dutiful daughter. She is a strategist, a survivor, and someone who understands that power comes from clarity and documentation, not from tears or performance. The tension is palpable, an emotional chessboard where the stakes are decades of manipulation and personal freedom. Odessa confronts Bella directly in the diner. The air is thick with the scent of coffee, pie, and tension. Bella approaches, voice trembling, tears welling. Odessa. I didn't think. Odessa interrupts, calm, voice steady. Save it. I saw the messages. This wasn't just reckless, it was planned. The revelation sends a ripple through the room. Regular patrons lean forward, silent witnesses to decades of manipulation finally coming to light. Bella falters, parents frozen in disbelief, their carefully orchestrated narrative unraveling in real time. The shock deepens as Odessa reveals the folder, receipts, bank statements, evidence of preferential treatment, and countless moments where her labor and sacrifices were invisibilized. Every act of generosity toward Bella at Odessa's expense is documented, exposing a pattern that can no longer be ignored. Suddenly, the emotional battlefield shifts. Odessa is no longer vulnerable, she holds undeniable truth. Bella's tears are performative now, her mother's voice shaky, her father's face reddening with impotent rage. Odessa has turned the tables. The twist, what seemed like a moment of helplessness, the desert abandonment, becomes the catalyst for empowerment. Odessa has been pushed to the brink, and in that extreme, she discovers a radical clarity. Her life, her choices, cannot be dictated by a family who thrives on control. Odessa returns home under supervision, carrying her folder like armor. Each room she passes echoes with the weight of past obligations and betrayals. The confrontation intensifies as she lays evidence across the dining table. The air grows thick, every whispered excuse evaporates under the stark light of proof. Her parents' carefully cultivated authority falters. Every objection she anticipated is neutralized by facts. Every manipulation is countered by documentation. Odessa moves deliberately, asserting boundaries, refusing apology, demanding accountability, but not vengeance. Bella attempts reconciliation, stepping forward with practiced vulnerability, but Odessa sees through the performance. Emotional stakes peak. The room is a crucible where past, present, and future collide. Odessa's internal struggle, between familial loyalty and self-preservation, reaches a boiling point. The diner's earlier whispers echo now in the dining room. The stakes are public, undeniable. Odessa's voice is firm. I'm here for closure, not for reconciliation. Odessa places the folder on the table, unwavering. Her parents' faces register shock and frustration. Bella's tears falter, her apologies unconvincing. Odessa's declaration is simple: boundaries are non-negotiable. The emotional weight bursts. Years of oppression, manipulation, and silenced autonomy culminate in this confrontation. Odessa's calm, methodical truth dismantles their authority, leaving them powerless without resorting to anger. She walks out, leaving behind the suffocating expectation, reclaiming both space and narrative. This is her emotional apex. The desert, the betrayal, the documentation, and the confrontation converge to transform helplessness into liberation. Odessa settles into her new life: Phoenix apartment, paralegal studies, independent work, supportive friendships. The desert that once threatened to consume her now symbolizes possibility and resilience. Boundaries hold. Family can no longer manipulate. Her car, her apartment, her career, tangible proof of autonomy. Therapy, volunteer work, and community reinforce the transformation. Odessa is empowered, whole, and grounded in self-worth. 6 months later, she drives the same highway, reflecting on the past without pain. She's free, her shoulders carrying only the weight she chooses. The desert stretches endlessly, a reminder of survival, clarity, and the horizon of her own making. Closure is achieved, yet the story leaves room for reflection. Autonomy is reclaimed, but the scars remain, a quiet testament to her journey. Odessa's final gaze in the rearview mirror is resolute, a cinematic symbol of empowerment, peace, and self-possession.